Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Success Life Live. My name is Reid, and I am your host. And yes, it is Friday, and we typically have a Fun Friend Friday guest, but some things happen as they do in life, and so we don't have a guest today, and that's kind of cool. I like to mix it up and flexible it up, or whatever we call it. So I thought, in the absence of a guest, happy birthday, Simba. I wanted to sort of talk about what I've learned along this journey now that we're probably nearing in, if we haven't crossed over the 1,000th Facebook Live. I know. In Success Life in general and all of that. I know it seems funny that I did like this first, good morning, Mike. Good to have you in the house. Good morning, Elizabeth. This first Facebook Live, like almost 1,000 ago, like maybe even more than 1,000 ago. And now it's getting funny because in my Facebook feed where it says, we care about your memories, I'm seeing ones that are like 1 and 2 years old. And I'm like, oh, how quickly we age. So I have to sort of look back, and I was reflecting on the things that I've learned, how it all started, where it's all going, what I'm supposed to do, and that. So in absence of a Fun Friend Friday, I just want to take you through the Success Life journey and then share some lessons about what I picked up and what I've learned along the way. So good morning and welcome to today's Success Life Live. So the first Success Life Live video sort of started after a 20-day challenge or a 22-day challenge. I got challenged with one of those push-up challenges. You know, we haven't had a push-up challenge or an ice bucket challenge in forever. Now, I don't want to be a part of them, but anyhow, there was a push-up challenge that we should do 22 push-ups for every day because of the number of veterans who take their life through suicide. And so I started recording those and challenging them out, and then I sort of took a long pause. It was like, okay, done with that. And somebody said, you should do a Facebook challenge. I said, what do you mean I should do a Facebook challenge? Well, you need to get out there and do this thing called Facebook and start sharing information and content. And so I'm going to challenge you. And it was a challenge group, and it was a 7-day Facebook challenge. And each day we had a topic, like talk about who you are, talk about what your dream is, talk about, your purpose and your passion, your history, your story. And it was all formatted, and I got through the 7 days, and I was like, rocked it. Leave me alone, folks. Did what you told me. Well, just as I was wrapping up 7, somebody said, try 30, because 7 is easy. 30 is where the work is. And as John Maxwell says, anything worth having is uphill. And I hate challenges. I just hate challenges because either I'm all in or I'm all out. And once I say yes, it's like, okay, do or die on the hill kind of thing. So I said yes to the 30, and then I thought, what would it look like to try and go to 100? And what would it look like to do both 100 Facebook Lives and 100 blogs simultaneously? Because as Seth said, if you want to be a speaker, you should be speaking. If you want to be a writer, you should be writing. And those are two things that I want to be. And I thought, okay, so let me speak every day for 100 days and let me write every day for 100 days. Meaning I had to produce a Facebook Live or the equivalent, 100 days simultaneous, no break, no, the rules, the cheat day rules, I don't participate in. And then I had to blog a minimum of 500 words for 100 days. And then because I'm me, I had to throw in a middle challenge of the blog can't just be a copy of the Facebook Live. Like I can't just transcribe it and say, done. So I cleared 100, and I started to gain momentum, and I started to really fall in love with getting together and connecting and being a part of a community. And it just kept going, one day at a time, next day at a time, next day at a time. And with any goal, with anything that we start to create, once we get to a certain level, and that can be 10, it can be 100, it can be 1,000, it's like, man, do I really want to give it all up just for? It's like, I've lost that 10 pounds. Do I really want to give it up for a 5-year-old birthday cake? Or could I pass? Do I really want to give up everything that I've been working on over this? Like, just because I have a sore throat, is it really worth throwing away all of the effort? Those kind of things started to creep in. And so we cleared 100, and then we cleared 500, and then we cleared 600 Facebook Lives. And there have been some interruptions. I'm not going to be, not going to lie. You can go back and check me. There's probably been, out of every 30 days, maybe, see, here's the competitive. I would say out of every 60 days, maybe one miss. And I started having to drive around with this little adapter in my car so that if I had to go to a meeting and I had to be there, I would always schedule the meeting for around 8:30 if I could, so that I could park in the parking lot at 8 o'clock and do the live, because that was our committed time. Which meant that I had to leave the house 30 minutes earlier so that I could get to the meeting 30 minutes early, so I could sit in the parking lot for 30 minutes so I could do the live. Or I would plan that, okay, I'm going to be in traffic for 2 hours, but if I could get to this certain point on the highway or whatever, that would be a good place to pull over and do the live. And so funny thing happened. I started to build my life around trying to make sure I could follow through on my commitment, which is kind of one of the areas. So I sort of made some notes as I was thinking about this morning. Was what it's provided is focus training, passion, and sacrifice. So focus. It's required that everything that I do, every book that I read, every podcast that I listen to, every Facebook challenge that I read through, that I'm focused on finding something of value. I'm focused on growing and learning and developing myself through others so that I can bring that to you. And so if you would look at a book, I'm trying to reach over here on my desk. This is such a great book, but I say that about all books. I know you can't see it, but see, there's highlighted and there's the letter T out there to transfer and teach. So everything I do becomes so hyper-focused, not on making sure I can show up on Facebook and have an audience, but that I have something of value when I'm ready to give something of value to somebody else, or somebody needs something of value for me. And then it starts to overlap into my speaking business, or into my coaching business, or into my writing and my blog. Pretty soon my focus is about finding things of value to add to give to others things of value. And then it sort of got me in a training mode. The second thing was, when you train, you have to get disciplined. You have to set schedules. You have to be organized. You don't just train for the Boston Marathon by getting up and doing it. No, you've got to have a vision and a focus. And when I talk about training, in my calendar are ideas of talking points, or ideas of things I want to share, or I call it a content or calendar. Like, where do I want this to go, and how do I want the Fun Friend Friday guest to match up with the Success Life Live weekly, to match up with the podcast, to match up with conversations. It puts everything in continuity. And so just like if you're training for an Olympic event, your diet and your workout routine support each other. Your mindset, your diet, and your workout routine, the people you hang out with, and your diet and your mindset and your workout routine all begin to move together. And so it really helped me train into what I wanted. The other thing it sort of has taught me or given me is passion for my purpose. So often when somebody comes to me in the beginning of a coaching process, or as a consultant helping them develop a brand or an idea, it's like way up here. It's like they'll be talking and I'll just be like, I'm not moved. I'm not connected. I'm not feeling it. Like, the more they talk about it, the more that I push back, the more discipline it requires for them to continue that conversation, the deeper it goes. And the deeper it goes, the more real and authentic it becomes, because they're tapping into their passion. They're letting go of their ego and their image of like, well, on Facebook, wouldn't this look so great? And isn't the title catchy? And blah, 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 blah. They're all worried about the external image of like, is it going to rank? Is it going to go viral? Da, 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 da. Instead, they're like, this is my passion. I'm like hearing myself talk about something that I really love, and I'm getting excited talking to myself about it. And as I talk to myself about it, I'm noticing the people around me are starting to get excited about it. And oh my gosh, all of what color should my logo be? And what time should I do my Facebook Lives? And blah, blah, blah. All the things that they were worried about, they don't care because they want to dive into their passion. And so doing Success Life Live and doing the blog and doing the radio show and doing the weekly has honed me in on my passion, because I'll start writing a blog and all of a sudden I'll just be like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. I mean, it's okay. It's good content. It's information, but it's not jazzing me. So it's probably not going to jazz others. So scrap it. And that kind of gives me the flexibility too. And then the other thing it's taught me is really about sacrifice. I don't mean this as like, oh, it's so tough on me. Please have a pity party, create a donation or a GoFundMe page or whatever. Sacrifice. It requires that I give up some things to make room for other things. It requires that my family knows that at 8 o'clock, I'm going to step out for a few minutes. Now, I will always put them first, but if there's a way that they can sit quietly and read a book, or I can get up early and sneak out of the house when we're on vacation, or, like I said, leave the house early for a meeting, so that they get it. They just know it's part of who I am. I mean, my daughter will often say, "You go talk now." And I laugh. It almost sounds like it's all I do all day is just talk. But because of what I want to create in my life and in lives of others, I have to figure out what is a priority. There are mornings, I will not lie, I cannot lie, He will not allow me to, that I would much rather be pillow prayers. I would there are mornings I wake up and I'm like, oh, that was a good sleep. Oh, that was a good sleep. That was good. Let me just get a little bit more of it. And it's like, nope, gotta go. There are moments that I've had migraines or flus or colds, or, we're talking over 1,000 of these, that I was like, I could just skip it today. I'm like, no, do you really want to give it up over that? But what it's also relayed out to is the law of the trade-off, or the law of the sacrifice in other areas of my life, in building financial security, and building my fitness and my health, and building my family and the security we have around that, and building my business. I am more aware now, because of having to do this thing consistently, that other things in my life will require that I have sacrifice, that I give something up, that I allow something to go so I can grow. And so when I think about the Success Life and the Success Life Radio and the newsletter and the podcast and all of those pieces, some that have been failures, some that have been successes, some that I've completely lost track of, I realize that it's really about passion and discipline. You've got to tap into that passion. And then passion will not keep it going. The discipline is, we got Dr. Reid here. I forgot what number from the gym we're at. But that man is like talking to y'all at like 5 a.m. some days. It's passion and discipline. You can't build your business, change your life, create what you want to create just on passion. It will not hold up. I promise you. The most passionate people on the planet, Mother Teresa probably had a lot of passion, but I am certain that because of the order that she founded, there is discipline. We cannot expect to change our lives, change our world, make an impact in the social media, if that's what our goal is, through passion alone. It's got to have discipline. The other thing I got some notes. The other thing I've learned is be high on people over procedure. I'm not sure where and what, 264, sorry, Dr. Reid, 264. Be high on people over procedure. So often I hear people say, well, I can't do it because I don't have blah, 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 or this will get in my way, or I don't know how. And they get all consumed on the, how am I going to do it? And what about, and should I, could, like all of the procedure thing stops us. Get high on people. Put people first. Like, I only need to serve one person this week. I only need to serve one person this month. I only need to serve one person this year. How can I find that person, and how can I connect with them, and how can I be 100% present for them? And the procedure stuff, will either solve itself or nobody will care, because your authenticity, your drive, your purpose to connect to that person, to give value to somebody else, to be of service to somebody else, they'll get. You know, we all know Eric is not a good speller. We all know it. Let's not even lie to him. If I worried about only that, I wouldn't show up some days. I would not have been able to make 100 blogs. And funny thing is, I'm going back and reading some of them, and they are a mess. So don't feel bad for me. Just laugh and know that he put people before procedure. Because when you put people before procedure, the people know it. And they connect and they follow and they want to be a part of you and they want to be a part of your vision and your mission. And when I talk people, we're not, it's your family, it's your church community, it's your gym buddies, it's the women that you go and play tennis with in the morning, whatever it is. And a follow-up on that was be fixed on the mission, flexible in the method. Sort of same idea. And understand that when you buy into taking a role, whether it's a leadership role or step out in front role or moving toward another level, like when you're average, you got lots of options and you claim lots of rights. You've got like all these kinds of options when you're playing little, playing small, playing average. You got all kinds of options. Like, do I go to work? Do I put in a full day's work? Do I call in sick? Oh, got a little tickle. Like, do I have a cheat day in my diet? Do I only cut and paste 60% of somebody else's stuff and call? Yeah, you got all kinds of options when you're playing little. And you demand all kinds of rights when you're playing little. Like, well, it's my right. And if they knew, and you start putting your hands on your hips and declaring all your rights. When you start moving up, when you start going uphill, when you start trying to reach above average in your life, I got news flash for you folks, and you might want to check this one, drop the mic on it, remember it, because I don't want to hear you saying I didn't know it was going to happen. But when you move to the next level in your life, you give up both options and rights. You would think it would be the opposite. That the more you became a leader, the more that you became an influencer, the more that you grew your career or your fitness or whatever it is, you would think, oh, as soon as I get to the top of the mountain, I'm going to have all these options and all these rights. It doesn't work that way. You lose options and you lose rights because you're now in a position that you hold beyond your own self. You hold it for your family, you hold it for your community, you hold it for your faith, you hold it for those people you're standing witness towards. You hold it for your team and your business. And so, yeah, I may have a personal option of having a snickerdoodle cookie or a Toll House chocolate chip when I'm down here. But when I've moved up and I've declared my health as a priority and that I've brought my family along on that journey and we've begun to do yoga in the morning as a family or eating right as a family or taking evening walks, that option isn't mine. That option belongs to everybody that I brought with me, everybody that's counting on me to succeed, everybody that I'm witnessing to, everybody involved. That right of like, well, it's my right. If I want to eat a cookie, I can because I'm an adult. It's not your right anymore. You gave that up when you made a commitment, when you made a decision, when you said that I will die on the hill for this dream, for this purpose, for this passion, for this transformation, for this better life. When you start growing your finances and gaining income, you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to have so much money. I can do this and do that and put this and put that. Because with money comes responsibility. With money comes stewardship. With money becomes an obligation as a tool to use it to better other people's lives and communities. And so the more you get, the more you have to give away. And the more you give away, the fewer options you have because you're guided by a higher principle. So as you go up this leadership ladder, as you go up this influence ladder, as you go up this success pyramid, understand that average people have lots of options and they claim lots of rights. You don't. But, oh man, up here, there's so fewer people. The air is so much cleaner. The view is so much bigger. The ability to tap in to your purpose and your passion and use that discipline that you honed over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You can transfer that. Like, somebody tell me, well, I need you to do a 100-day, read 10 pages of a book challenge. I'm like, only 100? I mean, I have done so many 100 days in a row kind of thing right now. 100-day don't frighten me. Back when I was still stuck on number 7-day challenge, 100 days seemed impossible. When I heard somebody say, you're going to have to get up and do something every morning and use your brain to create something new, content every single day for 1,000 days, I would have laughed at them and said, you'd be lucky if I get 3 days. You got to start reading books and highlighting and taking notes and creating systems and tools to remember that stuff so that you can have it available when it's needed. I would have been like, that's too much work. You got to figure out how to make a Facebook Live while standing on a mountaintop, holding it in your hand and the wind blowing in your... I would have said, this is not worth it. I'm not going to gain anything. I'm not going to grow my followers. I'm not going to wake up one day and be an internet celebrity. I'm not going to suddenly have money pouring in and clients calling me off the hook. I ain't getting nothing out of this, would have been my attitude. Had I known that I would have gained that ability to focus, had I known that I would have developed a habit of how to train for what's important to me, had I known that I would connect more deeply with my passion and my purpose, and that I would learn what sacrifice looks like and what the reward of it is, I would have been like, can we do another 7-day challenge? Can we do another 11-day awareness? I would have been so in, you couldn't have kept me from signing up. Shoot. So get past what looks obvious. Get past what you think it's going to be. Like, if I could just get online every day, I could grow my business, and then I'd have more money, and then I'd have... Getting online, creating a business, creating something that holds your hope and your passion and your purpose, none of the technology around it should scare you. None of the technology around you should be the reason you don't. And I didn't start this out to be about getting on Facebook and taking up Facebook challenges or blog challenges or social media or interest or Pinterest or whatever challenges. Where we get stuck is we're looking at the finish line before we've even laced up our tennis shoes, and we're seeing all of the problems and roadblocks in between. And then we just put our tennis shoes back in the bag and go home. I'm telling you, don't even know what the outcome is. Don't even anticipate what it's going to look like. Don't even hope for what it might be. Just show up, lace up the shoes, and say, you know what? I'm going to discover something along this journey that I've never discovered before. And in that process, other things might happen. Other things might not happen. But I'm not going to know if my shoes are still in the bag, so to speak. Some of you guys see from time to time when I'm out doing my run, I call it a run. It's not really a run. It's kind of a trod or a jog, or I don't know what you call it. It's not fast. We'll call it that. I'll stop and I'll see a deer off in the side of the woods. And yesterday, I tell you, I was freaked out. This deer was letting me get like just short of arm's length away from it. Or a turtle or a herring or something just catches my eye. And I have to stop and breathe it in. I'm like, whew. If I had been focused on my watch and getting the miles in and where the finish line is, I would have missed all of that around me, all of the wonderment and excitement and beauty and godness around me. Now I go out, I'm looking for deer. I'm looking for turtles. I'm not looking for snakes. Saw this gorgeous, gorgeous yellow bird. Like you would have thought it came out of a Disney movie yellow bird the other day. I'm looking for all of the things that I'm going to experience along the run. Not for when I get to finish. Not what my time is going to be. Not like, am I going to be the first one to get done with a 100-day challenge or a 100-mile run? No. So, I hope you guys get it. Whatever's stopping you, whatever's holding you back, whatever's keeping you stuck from diving in, it's probably because you're focusing on what it's going to look like if it goes big. And that scares you. Or if it doesn't go big. Or if you have all the tools and tricks and technology in place to make it go the direction you want. How about if you just start doing it and figure it out as you go and enjoy it as it's happening, and then celebrate it in the moments of discovery. Yeah, I posted the other day, I was so happy I took 8 tracks of audio and meshed them into one and created a podcast. Is it the best podcast on the planet? No, probably not. Is there audio and technical and yeah, could it be? Yeah, it could all be better. But I was like, you know what? Up until today, I didn't know how to do that. Now, I know how to do that. Yesterday, I figured out how to splice it and slide it up and then push it back together. I'm growing, I'm learning. That's all it is. Life is about growing and learning. So again, like I said, I figured out focus, training, passion, and sacrifice. I learned to put people in front of process and to remain flexible about how, but not flexible about why. All right? So hope you enjoyed this sort of odd Fun Friend Friday edition. Now, I know I've mentioned the newsletter and the blog and the Facebook Lives. Y'all know where the live is. We're doing that now. And everything that I do often gets moved up to YouTube because it's easier to sort and see. And then I do podcasts on the side. Totally different content, totally different format, totally different way of thinking and speaking and preparing, just like the blogs are. If you're looking for that, just Eric at ericgreid.com if you want to send me an email. Everything in my world is tagged with Eric or Eric G. Reid. And you go to YouTube and type Eric G. Reid and you'll probably stumble across it with a little bit of search. Same with iTunes and Sketcher and iHeartRadio, and I think there's like 5 other people that carry the podcast. The blog is over on the website. The blog is also over on Medium. And if you're somebody that wants to write or see how your writing feels in the world where people can see it, because honestly, if you're writing on your blog or your website, your traffic is probably very small. Unless you have a huge audience and you're famous and people go search you out, you're probably getting a low visibility. If you go to a tool like Medium, you post your blog and you get paid, actually, if enough people clap and like it and support it and comment on it. But it puts you in a community of writers and it raises your writing skill because you know that it's actually going to be seen. Like, it's not going to be just hiding on the bottom of my Facebook page in 3 months, or it's not going to be buried on the back end of my website, where if nobody knows me, they'll never find it. It's sorted by subject and topic and conversations. And so people are like reading it that would never even know who you are. So a lot of my blogs go over on Medium because it tests the response. So anyhow, all of that, side notes. Whatever it is you want to create, whatever it is you want to start doing, whatever it is you believe you are called into the world to do, be higher on people, less about the process, and you will find a way to make it happen. You will connect and make it and discover it. It's called Medium. You could all make me look this up now. So anyhow, I'll put a link below. Okay, Medium. So that's what their front page. Oh, that didn't work. So anyhow, Medium, Medium, like in what is your medium? You can sign up for free. When you post a blog, it gets shared to the community. And in sharing it to the community, if somebody likes you, follows you, claps, they've got all these different scorings. Each month they divide up some check and they give it to you. And like 1 month I got 25 cents. Woo, 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 woo. Paid writer. Take that, you people. Paid writer. Checks have gotten bigger, checks have gotten smaller, but it requires me to think bigger about how I'm writing. And so they have topics that you can just click on: relationships, productivity, music, comedy, physical, humor, self, business, leadership, technology, and it just keeps going on and on. So when I'm sitting around and I'm like in a doctor's office and it's like, I want to read something in these sticky, stale old magazines, no thanks. I'll go to Medium, I'll click on a topic like humor. There'll be 10 or 20 top ranked blogs. How to Even Do Brunch is one of them. Avatar Fan Club, things like that. And I'll start reading them, and then I'll applaud the other author and I'll give feedback and comments. If you're somebody that says, I'm going to be a writer, and you're not writing every day and you're not posting it where people can see it, then you're not a writer. You're a daydreamer. So get up over on Medium and start writing for 7 days. Say, I'm going to post something every day for 7 days. And it's easy. It's very easy. Like, very easy. But if you get stuck, call me. If you're going to be a blogger or a podcaster, then get podcasting. It's not complicated. You can do it on your iPhone. If you're going to be doing Facebook's, Instagram's live, just do it. If you're going to be going out and shaking hands with 100, what if you made a challenge? I will shake hands with 100 new people over the next 100 days. How would that transform your business? How would that transform the way you see the world? How would that accelerate your growth? Find your own challenge. Where is it that you want to grow? And then set a challenge and go after it. Because you'll discover more about you, your purpose and your passion and your interests and what you have to give to the world than you will just planning and getting ready for it. All right, folks? Well, I appreciate y'all. Again, it was an unusual Fun Friend Friday. I hope you found this of value, because as you know, I think I've said it more than once, it's about the people, not about the process. It's about being flexible but committed to the vision and the mission. All right? I'll be back Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern. So here's a funny thing about the sacrifice. So I was in California for, a week, 2 weeks. 8 a.m. Eastern is not 8 a.m. California time. So guess what I get to do? I was getting up like at 4 a.m. or something ridiculous like that to get ready for Facebook Live, and so I could be on time. Anchor is a way to start a podcast. Yeah, I like Anchor. I like Blog Talk Radio, and Speaker, all different kinds. I guess we're just going to have to do a whole day of social media acceleration. But anyhow, not the point of today. Don't want to go too far off track. It's Friday, which in our house means it's movie and pizza night. I've already lost the vote and we haven't even taken it yet. So, no pizza for me, but I can have fun with the movie. Because I'm not fancy like my friend Lisa. That's somebody, if you want to learn food and cooking and nutrition, Lisa Washington, amazing cook. She makes like cauliflower crusted, vegan, gluten-free pizza, and it looks good. I can't even make cauliflower soup. All right, so I'll see you guys on Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern for another Success Life Live. The podcast drops typically at noon, which means they're all loaded and they just drop into place. So if you're looking for a new podcast or want to follow the podcast or want to connect to it, you can do so. And then Success Life Live Weekly, the weekly coaching tip, comes out on Tuesday. To get connected to that, you got to subscribe. ericgreid.com/subscribe. And I'm not going to tell you how to do the Facebook because we found that. And then if you want to do the YouTube, just go to YouTube and Eric G. Reid and all the Fun Friend Fridays. So there's been like 60 Fun Friend Fridays. All of them are out there. It's so cool. I just love it. I just love the fact that they're out there because I'll go back and listen to them. Saw Melanie Massey, one of our artists. She did those. Is going back and listening to the Jill Week while she's on vacation, which was such a compliment that she's hearing my voice at the beach. I don't know how she's finding that relaxing. If And if it's coaching or speaking that you need me, that's kind of a direct conversation. So do it at eric@ericgreid.com. I think I got all the housekeeping done. Did I do it right, Elizabeth? If y'all don't know Elizabeth, she's an amazing woman who somehow manages to not only listen and type faster than I speak, which I know I talk fast when I want to. So y'all just send a thank you, Elizabeth, for being the note taker extraordinaire that she is, for adding things to the Success Life group. So I started that. I see, Elizabeth, I read your email. I didn't respond. The Success Life group page, which I've sort of just let sit there, was going to be a collection point for other thinkers, other ideas, sort of a library. And it's just sort of sat there because I just really didn't know what to do in that space. So maybe that's where you guys all say, what would you like to? It's not a closed group. It's not a sales group. It's not a challenge group. It's just, sometimes my page is so much about me. And I think there's so many great other people and producers of content and ideas and information that during the day, if you could like filter past the crap and go to some place where you know it would always be inspiring and uplifting and edifying and focused, you could, and that's why I started the Success Life group. So anyhow, I'll figure that piece out now that we're mastered combining 8 audio tracks into one podcast. We'll figure that out next. All right, you guys, go out and live your day with success. And what I mean by that is that success isn't that place that we hope to arrive at, that we get the big award that everybody shows up in their fancy gowns and expensive shoes at. No. Success is about being fully present in the moment that you're living. That when you take a whole string of those, you live a life of success. That there are moments that you look back and think, man, that was the best pizza movie night I've ever had. You get it? You get it, folks? All right, so go out and live your life with success. It is yours, and you are worthy of it. Bye-bye.